You can't be serious, man. You cannot be serious!
Now, mind you, we record most things off air, but...
Wouldn't be the first.
So we were going to have... I won't say that now, because we've just discussed it off air. So we'll just cover a few things first, Don, as we normally do. And Ivan, you there, Don?
Yep.
I see you ripping... I'm going to post. I'm going to post on my... on the Ridge Smarter Sam podcast, or the app.
What?
Your notes from last week. This is why I have trouble. This is why we have trouble, Don, here at this podcast. These I'm holding up. I'll post these next week.
What do you mean post?
Well, I'll put on my Instagram and my Twitter feed, my accounts. I'm Original Smarter Sam on one and Ridge Smarter Sam on the other. I'm going to put a picture up of the notes you brought in last week, and I'm holding it up there. And no one can...
Why would you do that?
To show how much prep...
You're just trying to make out that I'm an idiot. You
no,
take great
Don,
delight
Don,
in putting people down.
Don, I'm not trying to make out...
No, you are. Yeah.
I'm not trying to make out you're an idiot, Don.
I think I'll do a Rex Hunt here and walk off.
I'm not trying to make out you're an idiot. I'm trying to show people the amount of preparation you do. You listening?
Yes, I'm...
The amount of preparation you do for the podcast.
I do
I'm not trying to make you out you're an idiot. I think you're quite capable of doing that yourself. I'm not doing it. And apropos to that, so I'm going to post that. I'm just telling you now.
What is it? What are you going to put?
That is your notes from
Give
last.
Me what is the headline?
The headline is, if you can read it, China lays blame on Australia for something, I don't know. And
what did I?
And it's an inch by an inch square.
Postage
and you
stamp.
I said, have you got any topics? And you said, yes, I got one here. And you had to peer at it. I'm going to post it to show what we're dealing with.
Well, I've got notes this morning.
And
do you want me to start?
Hang on, you've just ripped them out of the paper now, haven't you?
I've read them on the way.
You've just ripped them out.
No, I have read them on the way.
Did he rip it out of the paper as we...
Yeah,
but I looked at them whilst I was having coffee.
So this is why the doctor, not Dr. Nicole, not Dr. I've got to speak about Dr. Nicole in a minute. Don, you rang her apparently.
I did.
Oh, why did you ring her, Don?
Because to get confirmation about the medical situation, just shut up, about the dire straits that could be happening in...
Dire straits are coming out?
No.
What, Mark Knopfler? Is he coming out?
Anyway...
Take her to the Mark Knopfler concert. Take her to Dire Straits. She'll like that.
Do you think she'd be into Dire Straits?
My word.
I went to Dire Straits. They were very good when they came out.
They would be.
MCG. I went years ago.
That's right. We'll take Dr. Nicole to Dire Straits if they're coming out.
She's too young. She wouldn't remember Dire Straits.
Well, you've asked her how old she is, have you?
No, I just assumed.
What? Why did you assume that?
Well, she looks very young.
Incidentally, speaking of people who look very young, I saw Tiffany Cherry at the lights again, and she put the window down. She was in a car, and she said, and we said it at the same time. I said, this is deja vu.
I thought she had a sunroof in the car.
Yeah, what do you think? She stuck her head
Yeah,
out
that's what I thought the first time you made contact. I thought she had a sunroof and she just put the head up.
Oh, what? She's at the light. She stood up in the driving position of the car.
Yes, and yelled out, Johnny.
No, she had electric windows in the very smart SUV she was driving, and she had wound it, pushed the button, and went. Drrr,
oh, you heard it go.
Yeah, you can hear them. They go. Zzz, and I've got the old.
You wouldn't have heard that over the Mustang.
I got the old dunger. And I said, "This is deja vu," and she said, "How's Don?" I said. He's well, and she's going well with the golf promotion. She was on a. Remember. She's on. Thank you, Ivan. Remember, she's the golf women's golf advocate.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so
how's that going? Is it good?
She said it's going well, and that's why you said you thought she was reasonably young when we did the promo here in front of the Smarter Sam thing.
Hang on,
you almost undressed her.
Hang on, who are we talking about? Nicole or Tiffany Cherry?
Well, you said you thought Dr. Nicole was fairly young.
Yes.
Because you'd seen her.
Yeah, she looks very young.
Yes, and then I said, and you thought Tiffany Cherry looked very young because when she was here, you manhandled her to within an inch of her life. If she had been not receptive to you just being a bit fooling around, we'd be in the industrial claims tribunal for sexual harassment.
And manhandling.
Person handling. Well, no, you're a man. I think you're a man. Now, so Don, I'm all over the shop here, but Dr. Nicole she's headlining. She's the key speaker. Listen to this. She's the key speaker at a seminar down at the. It's. I can't find the fucking thing. Where is it?
Don't sweat.
Sorry. Oh, it's International Women's Day, and she is the keyline speaker at a she shed. You know, you have a man shed. A man shed.
Yeah, they're in the suburbs.
A man shed.
Where they make toys and have a drink and whatever else.
Yeah, you go out the back and pull your dick and drink grog. And well, they've got a she shed, and it's at the. It seems an unusual place to have it at the International Women's Day, but it's at the Pig and Whistle.
And where is the Pig and Whistle?
It's down on the Mornington Peninsula.
Oh, up at Red
That's
Red
right.
Hill. Red Hill.
Well, I haven't got.
You're the guest speaker.
No, she's the headline speaker at the International Women's Day, and it's a day to empower women. Don.
Is that
Well,
today?
do you think she'll get up? No, Ivan says, is it today? Thank you, Ivan. I'm going to tell you when it is. It's on March the 6th, Sunday, this coming Sunday, March the 6th.
Do you think she'll get up and address why the honorary doctorates, there were more men awarded honorary doctorates at the Melbourne University than what there were women? There wasn't an equal quota of women to men.
So this is the problem in society that we live in, Don. Everyone now wants a quota system where if you're not qualified, just because you are of a certain gender or a certain skin colour, you have to get the nod over people who are more qualified, and this is where it's headed. You want to be selected on merit, not on your gender, whether you're a man or a woman, or your skin colour. And this is how the woke society is entrenching themselves and making things worse for the professional person, whether you're a man or a woman, or a whatever colour skin you've got, because there's a quota system, and it's bullshit.
Yeah, well done. And over the last 2 weeks, I was involved in two things. One was a committee, and the hand went up. We haven't got enough representation of women on this particular committee. So tokenism again, or we've got to put another woman on.
If all the women,
back to your ability.
If that's what I just said. If
and
all the women are more
qualified at a business. Let me finish this one too.
Oh, thank you.
They had male and female. The male was better qualified than the female, yet the female got the job over the male. Now, if you're in business, how stupid is that?
You're just repeating it. So we just said that, Don. That's a quote.
But I'm giving you actual examples of it happening. If you're in business, why do this quota thing? It's obviously not your business. Otherwise, you'd be going down the Google. If it was your own business, you'd be employing the best, no matter what it is, male or female.
Of course, Don. But we're getting bludgeoned, beaten around the head by the wokeness of inclusion, diversity, equity, equality, all that. And this is not slanted one way or the other. If the people who to fill the applicants are better because they're women or they're people of colour, that's who should get the job. So Don, Dr. Nicole is speaking at the Pig and Whistle. As I say, it seems an unusual place to have it. If International Women's Day, Pig and Whistle.
Why?
Oh, you're whistling at the pigs. It's
a name, you idiot.
Of course it's a name.
Like Tractor by, they got one up there, Tractor by the Sea or something. What a name.
10 minutes by Tractor.
Oh, you boys have been there. 10 minutes.
No, Don, Tractor by the Sea, was it?
I don't know. That's a stupid bloody name. What is it, 10 minutes?
You should know. It's down your way.
Yeah, I know it is. And
because the bloke who owns it had to get on his tractor to go down to check his vines or his vineyard, and it was 10 minutes by Tractor, or it was half an hour if you walk.
Why has he named his restaurant that?
Oh, it's competition.
Well, we're talking about it.
Why have you named the Pig and Whistle the Pig and Whistle? Do you think pigs go and whistle in the bar, do you?
What about that Arilla? We have
get enough women down there.
Have you called into that other restaurant on your way to golf?
Speaking of restaurants, which we weren't. Yeah, what?
Arilla.
What
On the
the-
right, you know, as you come to Bonao Road, you're playing at the National.
Yeah, no, I'm going down to play golf, not down to eat at the restaurant.
Well, you've got to eat substance to
Sustenance?
to keep yourself going.
You see, you got to eat
okay,
substance.
smart ass.
You've got to eat substance. You've
Well,
got to have
listen,
sustenance, Don.
you've got that restaurant on the right called Arilla. You could
Gorilla?
call Arilla.
Oh,
ARILLA.
Maybe the gorilla are a adjunct of the pig and whistle.
And just up the road, I found another place for you. Are you cooking or buying your meals now?
I'm not doing anything, Don. I don't know how
Well,
we've got onto
you're
this.
buying these
I was
pre-cooked
speaking about
meals.
Dr. Nicole being the headline speaker at International Women's Day.
But we're talking
at
about Red
at
Hill and
Pig and
Boneo
Whistle.
and down on the Mornington Peninsula. And I'm just giving you another one.
It's on Sunday, March the 6th. And I'm going to give you the number. And
Why? I'm not going.
When I say I'm going to, not you, I'm talking generally. I'm going to. If you want to book and go and hear Dr. Nicole. And
Is she running this herself or is she?
No, it's the International Women's Day are running it, and they're going to have it says here, you think I'm making this up, they're going to have a sing-along in the, I presume,
You
in
could
the,
get
in the
her.
beer
You
garden.
would be a. What
They're gonna
about you
have a
doing Frank
sing-along.
Sinatra?
I wonder if men can go.
What do you, come on. You and Isaac Appella's the accompanist on the piano and you singing. And go,
I sounded like the pig then, didn't I? So there's a sing-along happening, and Dr. Nicole
great.
is the keynote speaker, and there's entertainment and for kids, and it's a very big thing to empower women in society, Don, so that they don't get jobs necessarily on the quota system, they get them on their merit. Or we do, too,
Well, I
Don.
hope they address that, what
So
happened at
men
the
get
Melbourne
jobs.
University.
Men
Those
get-
doctorates, I think it's so unfair that so many men got
And
doctorates.
here's the number.
For what?
Phone number.
For what?
So if you want
Nicole
to ring
Yap.
up, what?
Nicole Yap's phone
You
number.
said Nicole Flap. You said Nicole.
I said Yap, you
Her
idiot.
name is Dr. Nicole Yap.
Yap.
This is the This is not the doctor's number.
It
This
is.
What?
She's running this.
This is not her number. This it would.
She's
think
going bad in surgery.
You're
isn't
the
she?
only person that's got it. You're the only
She
person.
hasn't got enough clients.
You're the only person. That's
She's
got it.
diversifying.
Don, it seems strange. You're the only person that's got a phone number. I haven't even got a phone number.
Well, how did I get it off you?
Because I got it from her clinic. Now, Don, here's the phone number if you want to attend the International Women's Day at the Pig and Whistle. Pig and Whistle.
Is Alan
and-
Seal going?
Alan Seal, lace bugs, moths, silverfish and spiders. So if you... Do you remember Alan Seal?
Yes.
Yeah. Not Kevin Hines.
What about Kevin Hines?
He did So What?
Yeah, I know. Potting Iris and what did he say?
Hello,
How did he,
hello.
No, he sign off. How did he?
No, he said, cheerio.
Yeah, that's.
He said, hello, everyone. Tonight I'm going to Pot Iris. That got our attention. I sat up, bolt upright when he said that. And plant Rose up against the wall. And I think they took it off after that. So, this is her number. This is not Dr. Nicole's number. This is the number for the Pig and... Not the Pig and Whistle. This is the number to book in for the International Women's Day at the Pig and Whistle. You have to find the address. Just type it in the Google machine. And the number is 59896130. I repeat.
03,
Why are we doing this?
because we go interstate. Someone in Perth might say, oh,
Might fly over for the
with
Pig and Whistle.
COVID and do
Absolutely.
14
Fly over
days.
for the Pig and Whistle sing-along.
Well, to listen to you though, Wood,
I'm not
flying
going
from
to
everywhere.
The fucking thing, Don. It's for so it's
could drive that-
0359896130. No, that's enough.
You could drive that Lamborghini thing.
I
you've
said
got
I was
out
going
there.
to ring the doctor on air, but we've got lots of... Let's see if we can get to a couple of topics today before we finish off. So that's that. So we've got the Dr. Nicole out of the way, Don. You've obviously spoken to her personally.
I did.
Yeah, and she's a bit... why?
Because I wanted to check up about the medical situation, the crisis that is going to
What a
happen in Victoria
pathetic
right now.
excuse. What a pathetic
No,
lame
see,
ass.
all you think about, you don't realise there are other issues in this world going
Yeah,
on.
I've seen-
I found out from
I've
a
noticed
source.
your other issues, Don. I've noticed the issues that you're interested in on this 1 inch by 1 inch square piece of paper. You rip. What's that?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, hang on, Don. That's a large person. What is that large person doing in the paper?
Playing footy.
What is?
No,
all right.
we've ripped
so
that
if
up.
you've ripped it out and you're not going to speak about it, is an immense-looking person in the paper. Was it a man or a woman?
Another topic?
So
The hole's getting deeper and deeper.
I want to know why you ripped
Well,
it out.
all I said was this particular person's complaining about
Yes, Don.
criticism on social media. Number one, why would you?
Hang on. What particular person?
That particular person in the paper,
Is it a man or a woman?
it's a person.
Oh, well, what's the point of this story if you're not going to identify
What-
why this man or a woman is complaining about...
Well, it's a woman, and
What's she
the woman
complaining
plays
about?
for, I think, Gold Coast or someone.
She plays in the AFWL.
Yes, and complaining about the comments
Why-
received
why
on
did-
social media.
Why didn't you just explain what you're talking about? There's a
Because I
large
thought the hole was getting too deep and I couldn't get out.
of this what?
Yes, the
This
way you
wo-
were going.
So this woman is a large-bodied woman, and she is now plays for the AWF. What is it? The awful. What is it? AWFL?
AFWL.
I don't think they call
no,
it AWFL.
it's AF.
Do you know why they don't
Look,
call
I
it
don't watch it.
AWFL? Because the
What?
acronym is awful, and no one wants to say that. So it's AFWL. That's true, Don.
AFLW.
What?
AFLW.
Okay, well, it's the Women's Football League that the AFL sponsor or oversee. And you're saying, Don, there's a picture of a large-boned woman in the paper, and she's complaining that the trolls on the social media are dishing her.
That's right.
And what's the purpose? What's the purpose of? She just realised that people cowards sit behind their word processors and type out those things
But, I
because they
mean,
get enjoyment out of it.
I find it just amusing. Number one, why would you even get involved in social media if you've got a high profile?
That's why
Because
you
you set
do.
your, what?
So if you've got a high profile, you get involved in it.
Why?
Well, because it adds to your brand.
Oh, who
No,
adds
I'm
to your
just-
brand?
Don, I'm just giving you the reasons.
The other thing is, I was taught from my coach when I was playing football. His name was John Kennedy. He said you'd never made it in football until you got punched, spat on, and
No,
whatever else as
yes.
you're walking off the ground,
Yes, Don.
and the criticism from
Yes.
the opposition.
Yes.
You'd never made it until you received that.
Yes.
So
Could I
that's in backhanded compliment.
Could I indicate, Don, that times have changed?
What do you mean?
Well, I don't think it's now acceptable to spit and punch and piss and shout.
Do
at
you
people.
think we,
No, I
as
don't think
sophisticated animals, have changed? Have a look what's going on in Russia and
wanna-
war and all the rest of it at the moment. We are the most basic of animals. We think
I
we're
want to get
sophisticated.
on to animals in a minute because Dr. Ben last week said a butterfly was an animal.
No, it's an insect.
Oh, well, you didn't chime in.
Because I was in Burke, you idiot. Oh, was I?
No, you
where
were
were-
here.
Oh,
Where
dear
was I?
me.
No,
Seriously.
Did we record it?
Seriously, Don. You
Is he going to be on today? I've got a question
on
for him.
every second week because he's
Well,
too
I've got to
busy.
hold over. I've got a few questions for him.
Well, I don't like to talk behind his back because he listens to this. His wife doesn't. And stop asking how's he going with his missus. You're just trying to
they're
drive a wedge between them.
continually renewing their
They're
vows.
not on Tinder.
They're what?
What you say then? They're Tinder.
Continually renewing their
continually. I
vows.
thought you said they're on Tinder.
Tinder?
Tinder, Don.
Isn't it
It's
where
a
you-
dating app. It's
they-
a dating app.
Have they got an open relationship?
I thought you said he's you said continually. I thought you said he's on Tinder. I misheard. Stop saying that they're continually
Renewing their vows.
Thank you, Doc. Thank you, Doc. You've got me. You bamboozled me.
Well, he shouldn't have let it out in the first place that he was renewing his
Well,
vows.
what's wrong
Had he
with-
have been a private person
Well, had you
and
renew-
not had a public profile, everything would have been honky-dory.
A pubic profile. Don, had you renewed your vows, you probably would
I'd be still married, do you think?
And so would I, so I can't. And
How many have you had?
Yeah, I'm
What?
still.
How many have you had?
Of my own.
Marriages?
4.
I've had 2. That's 6 between us.
Oh, really? 4 and 2 is 6, is it?
Well, it is.
And Ivan's had 1
Yeah,
and
I've had
still
1.
going. He's onto his
He's
first
all
wife.
right. So he's the only stable person around.
Now, Don,
You married 4 times.
Well, I was married 3, and then I married Amanda.
Hang on, shush.
Oh, gee.
I've got to go through them.
No, you don't.
Why?
You don't have to go.
I'm
They probably
just
don't
trying
want
to
be-
count
they
them.
Well, I'm telling you. Do you think I'm making that up?
That's how Sam learned how to count.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank-
just
thank
going
you,
back
Ivan.
to your Geelong days. Then there was that.
Don, don't go through
Oh,
them.
there was 4. You're right.
Thank you. I'm
Yeah,
right, am I?
yeah,
What do you think?
just checked
So,
them.
Don, we're jumping around a bit, but the doctor, I'm getting on to the doctor. He
Which-
said,
which-
no, Dr. Nicole, we've done.
we've
at
done
the,
her.
She's at the Pig and Whistle on Sunday, March the 6th, and she's the keynote
We've
speaker.
got more medicos listening to this
And
show
you can-
than any other.
and
We got the bloke in Israel.
We need a couple of shrinks. Well, Dr. Ben in Fordham is a shrink of yours. He's your psychoanalyst. And he said last week that we're talking about butterflies. I don't know how'd we get onto butterflies? And you said, where do they come from? And you said, they come from what's that thing called?
A
I think it's
cocoon.
a cocoon or larvae,
A
is it?
silkworm? I think.
No,
They come
Icarus
from-
or so, was
They
something.
come from caterpillars, Don. And a butterfly...
No, they come out as caterpillars, don't they? Doesn't a butterfly lay the egg in a cocoon, and
No.
and it
A
then comes
butterfly-
out as a
No,
what did you
Don.
call it? A caterpillar.
But no,
think it's
wrong
the other
way
way
around. A caterpillar becomes a butterfly.
A caterpillar becomes a butterfly.
Why are you repeating that, Don?
I'm just trying to think. The
Oh,
brain is.
you're trying to think. You think a butterfly suddenly turns into a big sloshy slug of bullshit, do you? It's a butterfly is a beautiful thing with 2 pairs of wings and
They
6
are
legs.
actually.
Yes.
I was thinking of making an aviary with butterfly. Yeah, having butterfly. Have you been? I think where is it
Here
at
we
the
go.
zoo? The butterfly aviary at the zoo.
The enclosure.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yeah,
Ivan?
I've been there.
I've
Were
been
you
there.
smoking dope when you walk through? Because it just gives you this.
I've been there, Don. I went
we're all
down
on
there
ease.
for the footy show and had a fantastic photograph.
What, in the butterfly enclosure?
Yes, had a fantastic...
Why don't you take your grandchildren there? They'd love it.
Had a fantastic photograph taken with these magnificent butterflies.
Yeah, it's fantastic, aren't they?
Someone said you got concussion when a butterfly landed on your head. No, that's a joke. Now, Don, we're talking about...
I see the bloke that really did run through me, fixed me right up one day, passed away recently.
trying to get
John
some-
Bonnie. Do you
Yes.
remember John Bonnie?
Yeah, I
Played
do,
for St
Don.
Kilda.
Yes, the late John
Jeez,
Bonnie.
He cleaned me up one day.
Don, we're trying to get some topics, but we're just
Oh.
we're going to get some. We're just finishing off a couple of what we called a housekeeping. We call this. So the Dr. Ben Fordham, he said that butterflies were animals, and I disputed that. And of course, everything. Do you know everything in the world is an animal except a human? Humans aren't animals.
Whoa. Hang on. Everything
let's
in the
not
world
discuss
is an
everything.
animal.
Let's not discuss everything I say. But
I'm
it's-
examining it, questioning you.
It says, it says everything in the world is an animal except a human. But
I think we're sophisticated animals.
where I'm telling you what it says, Don.
Who says? Jeez, don't get frustrated.
No, don't get right. Here, I'll read it. See, I do some research other than
Research.
other than ripping
all you
bits
do
of
is look
1
at
inch by
yourself
1
on
inch
those
shit out
bloody
of
cards
papers.
you've got.
I'm going to read out. Gee whiz! Oh God! Here we go. So can just while we're on the.
Excuse me.
Excuse
You're right
me.
there,
I belched
pig.
because I'm an
jeez.
insect.
It's
And this is what it says about it. This is the definition. Any animal of the class Insectia. Oh, that's insect. Any animal, any living thing is an animal except a human, but they go into categories. And the category of a butterfly is it's an insect because it has more than 6 legs. It can have 8 legs, and it has 2 sets of wings. That makes it an insect. Now the doc was. I'm saying the doc was half right, but he was clinically and strategically not correct. A butterfly is an insect. That's how we got onto that. And humans aren't animals, they're humans. Don't question me. That's what the machine
I'll
says.
question it.
That's what the machine says. So the doc, we speak to the doc on a fortnightly basis because he still thinks that you're winding us up, Don, with
About what?
About that you're so spare and off the planet and you're so diverse and lateral. And someone else said that too. And I'm going to, this is a shout out before we get on to topics. Have you heard of Damien Burke?
The ruckman from Geelong.
He was.
Yeah,
very good.
No, he was good when he started.
He was
Excellent when he started.
And he was very similar to Simon Madden, in the ilk of Simon Madden.
Oh, different.
I said in the ilk of Simon Madden.
He was very good when he started.
That's correct, and he got injured. And then he went to Brisbane.
Brisbane, yeah.
And he said he listens, and he says...
Does he? Has he still got his sand yard or whatever he's doing? He was doing landscaping or something in Brisbane. Or has he moved back to Geelong?
I'll take all those questions on notice, Don. I don't know. I was just saying, Damien Burke listens. He rang me up.
Oh,
because
good.
his wife, Beck, or Rebecca, but
Rebecca, yeah.
Beck, is a family law expert, and she...
What, lawyer?
That's right.
Well, you said just expert. You could say solicitor, lawyer, or barrister.
My brother was a lawyer, and he had
No,
an
you haven't
office.
got one.
My brother was... This is a joke. My brother was a solicitor. My brother was a lawyer, and he had an office. My sister was a solicitor, but she didn't have an office. Now, Don, it's like my mother. She was a good swimmer, yeah, because her mother was a
Your
street
sister, hang on.
My sister was a good swimmer.
You have got a sister, and they'll be very shitty about that.
It's a joke, Don. The bloke said, "Is your daughter a good swimmer?" He said, "Yeah, she's a very good swimmer. Her mother was a streetwalker in Venice." That's where she did.
Speaking of swimming, Rodney.
Rodney
Who's
Rood.
that fella? Plays for Geelong, Dangerfield.
Not
Patrick.
Patrick Dangerfield. Now, he
Roger
saved...
Dangerfield. That's Rodney
Sorry.
Dangerfield. He's the stand-up
Yeah,
comic.
he is too. No, he went and saved some people out of the ocean.
He did.
Yeah, he did. Off Fairhaven. It's a rugged beach, Fairhaven.
Off Moggs
How good's that?
Creek. At Moggs.
Well, isn't it just down the road from Fairhaven?
Yes, at
Aries,
Moggs.
not Aries.
Yeah, Moggs Creek.
Did you surf there as a young lad?
No, because we...
You go to Point Lonsdale as a little
I
bit
did,
more
Don,
uppity.
because I lived there.
No, a little bit more uppity. You wouldn't venture off Point Lonsdale.
No, when you're under 18, you haven't got a car. It's a bit far to get to Moggs
Yeah,
Creek.
but being a Geelong grammar boy and living at Point Lonsdale,
not
you wouldn't
having
go
a
to Torquay or Bells
Don.
Beach or Anglesey.
Jesus, seriously.
It's the one of many.
Oh, gee. We don't have. If you don't have a licence, you can't get to those places, Don, when you're a youth. And I'll tell you who else has got
I
a
remember
place
a
at
great
Moggs
photo
Creek.
of you walking with your surfboard as a youngster. You must have just started playing football with a board under your arm walking down to the beach. Do you remember that photograph?
I do, Don. Yes, I've got it out the back here. I'll
Have you
show it to
really?
you if you want to
Yeah,
reacquaint
it was
yourself with it. Rebecca Madden, another Becca Madden. She's got. I shouldn't say she's got a house down at Moggs. Well, she has.
She's
Everyone-
a Geelong girl.
Rebecca Madden.
Yeah,
she was a star on the footy show, and she's been.
But she's a Geelong girl.
And she used to work with Dr. Ben, and then she used to work with Dr. Ben on Ninja Warrior.
She used to be a showy too. She used to ride ponies when she was young at the show, agricultural shows.
I'm gonna try
She
and-
was called a showy.
All right, Don.
We called her showies.
And
We
now
should get her. Why
she's-
don't you get her on one day?
The Ben said he could get her on. I could ask her.
Well, why not?
Well, Don, we were going to have Rex
Did-
in here today, but Rex pulled out. Pity's old man hadn't. No, Rex pulled out at. It's just on the death knell. But he's gone to hospital to have a procedure.
What type of procedure?
Well, I think they're having a look
Lobotomy.
at his aort.
His ord.
His aort.
Hang on, he might not want to know.
No, but he's having of course, he's having a biopsy for, like we all do, men do, and women. Do women have biopsies on their aort to see if they've
I
got
don't
colon?
have an biopsy on my ord.
If you want to see how your colon's going, you do.
Oh, colonoscopy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right, a procedure. On
Oh, I'm a bit wary about that.
what,
I've had one
people
lot of
sticking things up your aort.
Well, I've had one lot of cancer. If I get it again, I think I'll just give it away.
All right, Don. We'll see if just before you give it away, see if you can get on topic here. You've jumped around from so many topics. I had them all listed here in sequence to cover.
We were talking about Rebecca Madden, weren't we?
We were talking about Beck, who is Damien Burke's wife, who's
Oh,
a family
that's right.
law.
Where's he living now, Damien?
I don't know.
Well, find out.
He just rang me and he said, I think Don is playing you. Do you know what that means?
No.
He cannot be that silly. He's having a lend of you. And
Is
I
he
said,
a grammar boy or he'd be St Joey's, wouldn't he?
I don't know, Don. It's irrelevant. That's how we go off topic.
Yep, we're
and
drifting
the
again.
doctor came on originally. Not Dr. Nicole, Dr. Ben. He came on originally because he likes the podcast, unlike his wife, who you keep trying to divide a rod between or a stake between.
No, they've got a strong relationship.
I know that. And Don and the doctor came on board because he said, I honestly think Don is having a lend to you. And I said, I've known Don for a hell of a long time. And he's always...
not. And he's not having a lend to me.
No, he's always been this fucking stupid. And the doc said, no, hang on. But mind you, if the doc thinks a butterfly is an animal, I am not sure if we can take much credence from it because it's an insect.
I wish he was on this week.
Well, so do I, but the doc, we love him.
Well, I'd like to ask him a few questions about my trip to Burke. I noticed a few things in the outback
Why don't
New
you ring
South
him? Why
Wales.
don't, like you do with all the people that come on the show, why don't you
Will I give
bust
him a
their
buzz?
chops by ringing them
Will I
privately?
buzz him now?
Well,
No.
he's just off here.
No, don't ring him now, Don.
Why not?
Because he what? You're going to ring him privately, are you?
Yeah.
Let's hope this is
Oh,
recorded.
yeah, we're recording.
Yeah, we're recording, yeah. Don, no, that you can't ring the doc. He tells us he's coming on every fortnight.
What
Now,
is he, precious?
He's not precious. He's Don. He's
Jeez, we've had a few
He's
precious.
an-
We've had
part
a
of
few.
a broadcast show.
Jeez, we get. How can we attract precious guests? We've had
He's-
Mike Sheehan, Rod Law, and now bloody Doc Ferguson. Oh, I was going to say Doc Ferguson.
You idiot. That's the only thing you can remember is anything about your football days. Doc Ferguson was your doctor at Hawthorn
No,
in the
no.
70s.
The best thing he did was take the stitches out of my dog's leg. God, he was a bull.
This is unreal.
He was.
Don,
I had a
we're
boil one day on
we-
my leg. I said, I want to play, Doc. He's come in with these fork scissors, tapped my leg, and then whack, in went the scissors into the boil.
Damien Burke, if you're listening, mate, you think that this man is playing us. You have jumped from top. That's got nothing to do with what I'm speaking about. And I'm going to get through these things. Damien Burke listens and thinks you're a fuckwit. No, he didn't say that. I'm saying that. No,
He does.
And when you said, when I held that paper up and you said, I only have an ear to make fun of you, I'm not making fun of you, Don. I'm holding up your notes from last week.
Actually, talking about Damien Burke, I think it was a real travesty that he never realised his full potential.
'Cause he
as a
got injured.
I understand. I'm just saying to you, it's a travesty that he didn't realise his full potential because he was very, very good when he
Did you
started.
not hear what I said?
Oh, shut up, will you? I'm just saying. You go through, and I was commentating in those days. The other one that really didn't realise his full potential as a footballer was Stephen O'Dwyer.
Don.
Steve O'Dwyer.
Straubs played for Melbourne and Richmond.
Don.
Injury got him as well.
Don, did you not hear me say earlier that I put Damien Burke very nearly in the class of Simon Madden?
Put Stephen O'Dwyer up there too.
But you just said then that Damien Burke was a very, and I'd already likened him to Simon Madden. You said, oh, no.
Do you think Simon Madden had any competition though when there was a dearth of ruckman around when he was playing?
Very good St Bernard's boy.
Did you come from St Bernard's? You're a Mick.
Yeah.
Jeez, Johnny, we've got a Mick on the show.
I better go.
A lot of mass murderers come from
Yeah, they're all a bit funny. A lot of
Don,
criminals. A lot of criminals too.
Don, you say it was there's a dearth of players around.
Ruckman.
Dearth of ruckman around in Simon Madden's era. Maybe they looked inferior because he was so good. If you'd taken him out of the equation, there would have been people would have said, "Gee, there's a good
Like
sprinkling
who?
of ruck."
Give me somebody.
Give you somebody out of the 15, 16 clubs that were going. I can't think of any, Don, at this off the top of my head. But you just to go through the clubs and see who played in the ruck for those. Rodney Blake for Geelong.
You told me what to do there, didn't you, one day?
What, Don?
You told me what to do one day about how to
Told
fix
you what-
Rod.
I told you how to fix Rod Blake up.
Yes.
Why would I have done that?
I don't know.
Well,
because
what-
you were shitty and I did it.
I was shitty.
Well, you
Don,
said...
you're making shit. You are making
No,
shit
I
up. Don, please. Oh, dear.
I'll tell you off air.
Damien Burke, it was very good. So he listens. We're still getting through that. We're going to do some topics in a minute. Mind you brought up the
Talking about Rod
oversized.
Blake, he's a vet now, and I saw him at a horse show. He just kind of avoided me. Do you think I upset him when we played?
He's a vet. I don't know where he lives or what his wife's
Down
name
at
is.
Geelong.
Right, thank you. So your only topic you brought up was an oversized woman who's getting annoyed that the trolls are.
I brought up
ripping
about
her.
the medical issue we haven't gone on because this is far above your
When you
intellect.
made a private phone call
Yes,
to the doctor.
to get some
Nicole.
confirmation. I also brought up about the fact that there are no women given honorary doctorates by the Melbourne University. So there's three in-depth topics that you wouldn't examine.
Well done. If these are your topics, this is good because I keep asking you to bring topics in, and you've just ripped that
All you've done is rip it.
oversized woman out of the paper just as we sat down. And I showed you your last contribution last week, which is on an inch by an inch bit of paper. So I'm still getting through the people who listen. Michael Ralph. Have you heard of Ralph Meats?
Yeah, Jimmy Ralph, isn't it? Jimmy Ralph was
Well,
the
I
father.
just said Michael.
I think Jimmy Ralph might have been the father.
Where is he?
I think Jimmy Ralph lived in Caulfield.
Well, this is Ralph Meats is at the South Melbourne Market. He listens. Ralph Meats. Do you know? Wouldn't be John Ralph's.
But don't you remember Jimmy
Be
Ralph's?
John Ralph's father. Is
John Ralph's a reporter
Yeah, for whom?
for the Herald Sun. He rang me last week.
Did he?
Yes, on the way back, I was driving into Griffith.
He rang you.
Yeah, wanted the story.
So if you go down to the South Melbourne Market, you can have a look at Ralph's Meats.
Well, when you drop in,
Michael's-
ask him if he's related to Jimmy Ralph.
I have. You can go and have a look.
Jimmy
at
Ralph
Michael's
was
meat.
a wholesale butcher.
Well, Michael, you can only look at Michael's meat down at.
What?
Well, you can go and look at Ralph. You can go to Ralph's
produce.
Meats at South Melbourne Market.
Is this where you're buying your meat now?
No, Don. He just
Are
listens.
you looking out? Listen, are you looking after yourself?
What?
Are you looking after yourself? Are you
As in,
still eating?
have I got a nursemaid? Or you mean-
No. Are you still eating those pre-cooked meals?
What has this got to do with
Well,
this?
you're going to Jimmy Ralph, so I'm just wondering.
not
You
going-
should be going to the market and getting decent food.
Michael Ralph
and
said
learn.
he listens. I saw him, and he said, just incidentally, I love the podcast. So he's at Ralph Meats. And Don, if you went down to Ralph Meats...
I'm not
at the
into meat.
You don't
Not-
eat meat?
No, not really.
That's why you look so insipid.
Well, you look shit too.
Oh, jeez. This is going well.
Like your shirt's not pressed again. Why didn't you get someone to come around and press your clothes?
You said, was I handling myself, Don? What, do you want me to get someone into, like a maid from the Holiday Inn to come
Well,
around
you
and
could
make
get
my bed?
anybody that's that way inclined who
Anyhow,
can press shirts,
Michael
whether
Ralph.
it be male or female.
Michael Ralph is a
male
very-
or female you could get as long as they were that way inclined.
A quota, just like the quota. Maybe
Oh,
I could get a
50-50.
doctorate from the university that didn't get a gig. They can come around and make my bed for me. Now, Don, or getting it. Now, Don,
Next topic.
Michael Ralph is a listener, and Damien Burke, and I saw a man. Now, listen to this, Don. I saw a man at the BP service station. I was in the BP service station
Which
getting
one?
What one in
The
City?
one-
Yeah, City
The
Road.
one where makes the good
yeah.
coffee
Very good coffee they
down
make.
here in Elwood.
City, no,
I thought it was shit coffee.
Indian.
no, Don, you thought it was shit.
I went in there on
Sit-
your recommendation.
Don, it's very good coffee, and they're listeners. They listen. Remember, you told Mick Sheehan. You
Remember.
said, "Remember, we were."
I did.
Remember, we were trying to get a bit of publicity for Mike Sheehan and Eamon's pig. What? Not pig and
Pig and
What's it
whistle.
called?
No, no.
Yeah,
Larry
the pig and
Dooley?
whistle.
Larry Dooley, and I said they've got fantastic coffee down at Larry Dooley's, which is just opposite the Epworth Hotel, the Epworth Hospital in Bridge Road. And Don, you said, I know someone went there and they said it was shit. And I
Well,
thought,
do you want the
fair,
truth or do you want...
We don't want the truth, Don. We
Oh,
want
we
you to-
don't want the
we
truth.
want you
We
to
just
be-
want to talk shit.
We want to be diplomatic.
I think truth is a better...
No, you didn't even have to mention that it was shit. It's not shit. It's very good coffee. And if someone had said to you as an aside, I don't like it, you didn't have to bring it up, Don. We were trying to give some curry, some favour to a friend of ours, and I think it's very, very good coffee. And I used to go down there with the Rocket.
What? I was just going to say.
I used to go down there with the Rocket. I haven't been down for a while. I used to
But
go down.
they're frequent. I've heard they're frequenting.
Frequenting.
Yes.
You got to put the right emphasis on the
Okay, well,
correct
you're there
syllable.
to correct my grammar. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're frequenting a little coffee shop
Who's
in
they?
Mike, Sheehan and Rod Law.
Yeah, what, the Rocket and Mick?
Yes.
Where are they frequenting?
A little coffee shop in East Melbourne, Grey Street, I think
go
on the
to
corner.
I've go to that.
Have you been there when you were included?
Yeah.
When you were in that group?
When I was inclusive.
Inclusive?
Yeah.
What happened with you and Rod Law?
What happened with you and Rod Law?
No, well,
the only reason that was ever any angst between any of us here is because you and he...
Well, I didn't drive him out to Northcote to look at a
Don,
car.
shut up, Don.
Tell me about that.
I drove him out to
Yeah,
Northcote
to look at a car.
Yeah, and I just said that. That's now Jason.
That was the end of the relationship, wasn't it?
Very nearly.
Very nearly.
I wrote. I was at the BP service station. I mentioned this for two reasons.
City Road.
City Road. I think he works for Polar Air.
Who?
Jason. He just said he was standing there.
You told me you were at the B. Does he operate the BP service
He was
station?
buying a coffee there like I was.
Oh,
And he said,
right.
hello, Sam. And I said, hello. He said, I love the podcast. Don's a dick. No, I made that up. He didn't say that.
He did. What's
No,
his name?
Jason, he didn't say you're a dick.
Pole Air. Isn't it Police Air Wing?
It's an air conditioning company.
There we go.
Polar Air. Fucking hell.
Oh,
It's the police wing. And I filled my car up with petroleum, Don.
did you?
Have a guess how much a litre it was.
It's 194.
$2.30.
Oh, rubbish.
It was $2.30.
I thought I got stung in Burke.
Well, I
$1.94 for diesel.
well, this is premium, 98 premium.
Really?
And that's what it is. That just happens all over. That's what's happened with the Ukraine war.
Oh, come on. It was going on before the Ukraine war started.
Do you know anyone from the Ukraine?
Yes.
Who?
Bowden Jaworski.
And have you
Alex Ishenko.
Have you spoken to them and said, how are you
I
feeling?
asked Bugs, how's he going? He's got relations over
Yeah,
there.
Well done. I rang Alex Jezelenko.
Do you realise that Alex Jezelenko is in the Ukrainian,
Cranium?
that's your head,
Ukrainium, yeah, that's your head.
your head,
Yeah.
Hall of Fame,
Well, I didn't.
Sports Hall of Fame.
Well, I didn't.
Say that again, Don. He's in
Alex
where?
Jezelenko is in the Ukrainian. Is that right?
Ukrainian.
Ukrainian
Hall of
Sports Hall of Fame.
He's in the Ukrainium. Your
Well,
cranium. So I rang him up.
what about?
The war.
Well, he won't remember. He's got Alzheimer's.
Don. Alex Jezelenko has
doesn't.
not
He
got.
does.
Don.
There was an article about it.
He has not got Alzheimer's.
What's he got?
He's got a little bit of a start of Parkinson's.
Oh, Parkinson's. Oh, okay.
So Don, please don't make outlandish. He's a.
Well, you're here to correct me.
He's Ukrainian. Ukrainium. Yeah, he's a Ukrainium in the Hall of Ukrainium.
Well, he's in the sports. There's
so
no
I
other
rang him and I said, I'm glad you rang Alex Ishenko and Norm Bolwoljalski or whatever his name is.
Bowden Jaworski, Bugs.
So I'm Bugs. So I'm glad you rang them because it's a good thing to do. And I said, are you okay with that? And he was born in Austria. Did you know?
Austria.
Hitler was born in Austria, which is just an aside.
So hang on. He was born in Austria. So how does he get into the Hall of Fame in the Ukraine?
Because his family, he must have just been born there, and then they went back to Ukrainium. Ukrainium. And so I rang him, and he said, thank you for the call. And he was very appreciative.
Is he going over to fight?
What?
Is he going over to fight,
Alex?
take up arms?
No, he's not done. If you're between 18 and 60, you are compelled to fight. But if you're over 60, you don't have to.
If you're male.
Yes, if you're male.
No woke
Or
people over there.
If
you're in the
singling
same
if you're
situation-
singling as a man,
Hey, listen, if you're in the same situation, what would you do?
I'd duck. I'd get under the bed.
I'd take up arms.
Would you?
Yep.
What can you? If you ever fired a gun?
Yep.
Have you?
Yep.
When?
Oh,
Well, for
on
what
rabbits?
reason?
Rabbits.
You've shot rabbits,
Yep.
have you? I tell you who also contacted me, and we're not allowed to mention his name because
you will.
The medical
Bernie McCusker.
board. No.
Are they getting upset with us because of all the
medical
doctors? Are they
medical
really?
board contacted me indirectly and
Oh,
said,
really?
please don't
Don't
keep
mention
mentioning
his
doctors'
name.
names, because he said, so we're getting into trouble. So
Okay.
So I can't
Can
mention.
you do it one more time just before?
Yeah, I can do it one more. Barney McCusker, he's a doctor.
Okay.
And
He's a surgeon.
And they said, do not keep mentioning his name because it's like
Free
free
advertising.
advertising. So we won't be mentioning Barney McCusker's name again.
Do you realise he's got a tree growing out on his nature strip and it's got all Ukrainian little bits of flag, the blue and gold? People have been walking past and put...
Why do you think I just brought his name up, Don?
I don't know.
We were
because
speaking about Alex Jezelenko being in the Ukrainian Hall of Fame, and I spoke about the medical board saying, don't keep mentioning this doctor's name, Barney McCusker, and he contacted me and said he's got a tree outside his house with the Ukrainian...
No, not his house, his office.
Oh, fuck.
He lives in the country of Mount Gambier.
He's got a tree decorated with the Ukrainian
Ribbon.
flag.
No,
Ribbons.
ribbon, little ribbon,
ribbons
blue.
then. Fuck, ribbons. What's it matter?
Tie a little ribbon around the old oak tree. Do you remember that song?
That'd be a good song.
Tie a little ribbon. It's
Well,
tie a yellow ribbon. you
Yellow
idiot.
ribbon. Well, he's
Who
got...
sung that?
I don't know. Bonnie...
Tom Jones.
I don't know.
I don't know who sang it. Now, Don.
Blue and yellow. It's made of blue and yellow.
So he
it's in Mount Gambier.
And he said, could I send the photo to Alex? But
To
we're
Alex?
just
Oh.
now just mentioning it. I'm not sending the photo, but I'm mentioning Barney has got, so we're not allowed to mention his name. We got warned by the board,
Okay.
medical board, don't keep mentioning Dr. Barney McCusker, who is a orthopaedic surgeon in
Right.
Mount Gambier, or will be in serious breach of etiquette. So, Don, why did I mention you? And you're the man who stole. You know how you know Barney McCusker?
I
Because
did
you
a
were
show-
driving your horses through there
No.
one day, and you stopped and you pinched hay out of his paddock, and he came down. He said, "Hey, what are you doing?" You said, "I'm just feeding the horse." He said, "How about having the courtesy to come up to the door and knock on it and say, 'Do you mind if I feed the horses?'" You just broke down one of his fences, took your horses in, drove your truck in, was sitting there having a cup of coffee out of your thermos, and down he came. Is that true? It is. There's something wrong with you, Don. You got no etiquette and you got no manners. You got a little bit of class, but you got no Ukrainian. Seriously. So we're gonna. I'm tired. I haven't.
Do you wanna
got
have a break?
Yeah, we're gonna have a break.
Have we got
Coffee?
a guest?
Black
Have we got a guest?
No, because Rex was coming in.
Bloody Rex, what's wrong with him?
Not bloody Rex.
Well, it's frustrating.
Was-
No, he's
I-
got
He
a
said he was
procedure.
coming in.
Yeah, no, he gave me 12 hours notice, and I could have got someone else in, but he wants to come in with a view to
What?
when Ivan. Where are you going? Ivan?
Oh, yeah. Well, the way the border situation is, I'm not here next week.
Really? Have they opened him over there?
No, he's going to open it, what's today, Wednesday, tomorrow. So we'll see if he opens it.
Do
Anyhow,
you see
Ivan,
that Australia was complimented by some overseas politician
Don.
of the way they've handled coronavirus?
Don?
Oh.
Jeez, I'll tell you
I don't know
what.
what you're reading.
It's candle crew and
Terrible.
roast. There's 5,000 cases yesterday. There's 18 people dead, and suddenly from corona, and suddenly you don't have to wear masks, you don't have to self-distance, you don't have to isolate. It's been bullshit. The whole thing has been an absolute rort by this government.
And we're getting going back to my original
ruined the whole of
topic,
this-
because of coronavirus, the medical fraternity is going to face a crisis in years to come. In a couple of years, with all this elective surgery, there's a huge backlog, and there's not enough staff and doctors coming through. They haven't trained them for 2 years, Johnny. Did you realise that?
All this electric surgery.
No,
and
elective.
battery-operated electric surgery, and a lot of the electric surgeons are now going over to
Where?
Ukrainium.
Ukraine.
Now,
Now,
Don, we're going to have a little break because I've got tired. And
Can we get a coffee?
No, I'm not doing coffee. I'll tell you why I'm not doing coffee.
Why?
Oh, well, I'll tell you. Now, just a minute, Ivan. What am I doing? I'm putting the music
Hit
up.
the button, boss.
Which button? Down here.
Well, we want music.
Right, no, we're doing it this button.